Pilots are in a huge shortage all across the world. In the last few months, you must have seen on the news that so many airlines are having a scarcity of the pilots. Given the growth in the aviation sector, India would require 1,000 plus pilots per annum for the next 5 years. However, experts have said that the country lacks the adequate pilot training infrastructure to produce trained pilots. Recently, Air India planned to hire foreign pilots to meet its requirements on the Boeing 777 fleet through a placement firm. And these pilots are being offered better pay, lucrative terms, and generous benefits. And that is why becoming a pilot is becoming one of the most sought after career these days. And many Indian students go to multiple countries to take pilot training as there is insufficient infra in India. So today we are presenting one of the finest and very well equipped aviation training academy. But to join an aviation academy, it is very essential to know the background of the organization who holds the stake in that company. So let us know from the Chief Operating Officer.
Well, first of all, I'm General Restituto Padilla Jr. I am a retired military serviceman. I served in the Air Force for almost 38 years. And I'm a pilot. I flew a variety of platforms in the Air Force, fixed wing and rotary. So when I retired, I took over the First Aviation Academy. And so the First Aviation Academy is a joint venture between two giants in two respective fields. The majority owner is Macro Asia Philippines. Macro Asia Philippines belongs to the Lucio Tan group of companies. Mr. Lucio Tan, the owner, is one of our Filipino-Chinese Taipans who own many industries in the Philippines, one of which is the producer of our number one export rum, which is Tanday rum. They also own real estate businesses, but one of the most prominent ownerships or business they have is Philippine Airlines. They own Philippine Airlines, and this is why the First Aviation Academy came to be, because of our desire to provide and help Philippine Airlines with its cockpit crew requirements and other domestic carriers as well. The other partner, which owns 49% of the First Aviation Academy, is Philippine Transmarine Carriers Holdings Corporation. It is in itself a giant in the maritime industry. It trains seafarers. It has education and training businesses for maritime engineering, maritime transport engineering, with one of the biggest schools here for technical, which is Mapua Institute of Technology. And it has other businesses also in logistics, in education and training, in health, in real estate, in the service sector. We do deploy both land-based and sea-based foreign workers from the Philippines. So, but majority and the legacy businesses of the Philippine Transmarine Carriers Holdings Corporation is in maritime. They entered into the aviation business also recently in 2019 when they launched First Aviation Academy, out of our desire to be able to produce global aviation professionals. The whole facility of Subic used to be owned by the 7th Fleet of the U.S. Navy. This was their home port. It was their headquarters. When the bases pulled out, 1991 if I'm not mistaken, because of the abrogation of the bases agreement with the Philippines, it was turned over to the Philippines and it was turned into an economic zone. So I asked you if you observe anything with the picture, because that area is a reclaimed portion. So it is shaped like an aircraft carrier.
Yes.
Because this used to be the home port for naval aviators who were manning the aircraft carriers and flying for the 7th Fleet. So that protrusion over at the upper right corner is actually the wing part of an aircraft carrier taken to scale. And this was constructed by the U.S. Navy a long time ago and reclaimed. There used to be no field here, no flat area, but they had to flatten one mountain and bring the earth and move it here and flatten it and create.
So as you just heard, First Aviation Academy is owned by the same company, the Lushitan group of companies, who also owns Philippine Airlines, and it is a joint venture between two of the biggest industrial groups in Philippines, that is Macroasia and PTC Corp. So it has got a very sound foundation and a robust background. Now, the most important thing that is required to become a good pilot is the infrastructure and the facilities. So let us look at the facilities available in this aviation academy.
I'm Richard Tanglao. I'm the Sales and Marketing Head of the PTC Aviation Cluster. We have the most number of flight simulators among other flying schools. You've seen the simulator bay in our campus. That's only three. We have one more flight simulator that was installed in the Philippine Air Force Museum here in Manila. So we use that simulator for instrument rating check rides, which is usually based here in Manila. We have two desktop simulators because most of our aircrafts are glass cockpit, meaning they are equipped with the G1000 cockpit. It's mostly computerized. That's why we purchased two TD, two desktop simulators, just to practice the students on how to fly and operate a glass cockpit aircraft. On the aircraft fleet, we have total of 11 aircraft, one multi-engine aircraft, which is the Cessna P2006. We have another Tecnam single-engine aircraft, which is the Tecnam P2010, and the rest are Cessna 172s. These aircrafts were the aircraft that we acquired from the Philippine Airlines Aviation School just 2 years ago. So this is the glass cockpit trainer. So students can use this unlimitedly just for them to be trained to operate a glass cockpit, a G1000 aircraft. This is our simulators in Subic. So we have three of them. Two of them are motion MCX simulators. They are used to fly the multi-engine and the single-engine aircraft, while the other aircraft simulator, the Cessna Citation Mustang, is used for our jet orientation course. So at the end of our cadetship program, students will not only learn how to fly the single engine trainers and the multi-engine aircraft, they will also be taught how to fly a small jet aircraft. This will prepare them. This will act as their bridging course when they train to fly an Airbus A320 or some kinds or bigger aircraft that's jet powered. So this is a very important phase of their training because most of the students who are applying the airlines fail because they don't have experience on flying the jet aircraft. So we also made a mock-up Airbus simulator, but this is just to give them a feel and to show them the procedures conducted during a flight on the Airbus A320. So our current general manager is an Airbus A320 pilot, so he made this himself and teaches the students on the basic procedures on flying the Airbus A320. Most of the aircraft that they use are the analog ones, the one with the big radials and everything.
Yes.
But if you can see the cockpit of our aircraft,
Digital.
it's digital. It's computerized. Students, because flying with the commercial airlines, aircraft, most of them are what we call fly-by-wire. So these are computerized aircraft already. And this is our multi-engine aircraft. So at the end of the program, students will be taught how to fly an aircraft with two engines. So this also prepares them for a flying job with the airlines that usually has two engines. And then this is our the rest of our training fleet. So we have 4 analog aircraft. These analog aircraft are used for the PPL stage, for the private pilot stage. And then once they earn more flying hours, they use the G1000 aircraft to give them more experience flying the glass cockpit. So our programs, we have the full cadetship program. The full cadetship meaning from private pilot, to commercial instrument rating, multi-engine, jet orientation, and we have an ATPL theory that we also teach them. So no other schools in the Philippines that teaches a student up to the ATPL theory. It's only First Aviation Academy. Um, and we also offer the basic cadetship program. The basic cadetship program will give the students up to instrument rating license, because so that they have the option on whether to continue it with a multi-engine rating or as a flight instructor. So this gives them more options towards their career path. And then, because of the pandemic, we offered the modular program. Modular meaning, if you wanted to test first the flying school, you can enroll in just PPL, and then after PPL, you proceed with the commercial pilot license, and so on and so forth. So that's how you offer the modularized pilot training program.
The Academy offers varieties of programs, right from student pilot training program to PPL, CPL, and also executive programs. They also offer enough flying hours and also simulator hours to align and abide by the policies and regulations of DGCA.
And this one is the breakdown of our programs, but this one is more of the detailed part of the training program, the number of flying hours, the number of simulator hours, the ground school hours. This one I can email to you for your further reference.
Yeah.
And then we partnered because we wanted our students to really have a full training. That meaning they have up to the Airbus type rating. That's why we partnered with the type rating organization, which is Alpha Aviation Group. So with this, our students after graduating can directly enroll with an Airbus type rating school. So after the cadetship program, they can go straight flying the simulator of an Airbus A320. So it's a seamless program. It's a limited first officer training for them.
But we do encourage those interested to go into aviation also, who are not interested to start a career. So we have what we call an executive program. The executive program actually caters to professionals and other individuals whose main interest is to learn to fly because it's part of their bucket list. So we have launched this last year, and we will have our first 2 students beginning of or the end of this month, and they actually are Indians. So seafarers, actually captains of ships who already own ultralights. If there are interested individuals for the sake of just wanting to fly, for the sake of flying and enjoy it, and in the future potentially own an aircraft of his own and do weekend flying, we cater to that kind of clientele as well. And we work by the time available to them. That's why we call it the executive program.
So this one, the training is most likely adapts on their free time. Say if you have free time on a Saturday or on Sunday, they can schedule a flight with us until such time they have earned the hours requirement to become a private pilot and then proceed with the commercial pilot license.
They are required to go through a water survival course. So because we are an archipelago and we operate over bodies of water, so in the event of any ditching or an emergency that requires them to land over bodies of water, they will know what to do, and they will be prepared to do what they need to do in those events. So that's why, as part of our safety program, they are required to go through all this. I think are the most serious, but right now, again, because of the resilience of the industry, the airline industry is on an uptick. So it's almost at pre-pandemic levels and onwards to recovery, full recovery. And we foresee that it will continue. As in our last assessment of the industry, we have seen that there has been more companies that have opened in the last few months than there have been that have closed. So there are airline companies that have closed, but there are more that have opened because they see the growth of the airline industry. And in our own case, domestically, uh, our own flag carrier is already on the way to profitability, or it is already profitable since last year. We've turned a new leaf. And then our other domestic carrier, Cebu Pacific, has ordered 10, no? 10 more Airbus Neos to beef up their fleet despite showing losses last year. So that's how confident they are with the recovery of the industry. Similarly, there's another carrier serving the domestic route, which is Air Asia, also on the recovery.
Yes.
So I'm sure it's not only the Philippines that's showing this recovery. The opening of China is also boding well for the industry, as well as in other areas. A trajectory of growth or increasing compensation. So you start off as a second officer. That would be about anywhere from, depends on the region but you're in, like in the Philippines, that will be about $4,000 to $5,000. Then it will progressively increase to as much as $10,000 to $12,000 per month as you go up the ladder. So in other areas, it could be higher because other areas like the US or Europe will pay more. So if you see airline captains manning the bigger wide bodies out there in the Middle East, like Emirates, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, in the Middle East, those airlines kind of pay more.
Okay.
So, but many Filipinos are working there too as airline and aviation professionals. So, this is the kind of growth and career track that they would follow.
One of the biggest, actually the biggest air pilot school in the world, forecasted that in the next 10 years, there will be around 264,000 pilots needed all over the world. The majority of which is in the Asia and the Pacific. Around 91,000 pilots needed in the next 10 years. Airbus, on the other hand, is expecting to deliver 9,000 to 160 aircraft just in the Asia Pacific alone. So just to give you an idea, a middle range aircraft would need around 3 to 5 sets of pilots to be fully utilized and to earn money. And because the more time that an aircraft flies, the more money it gives to the airlines. And Boeing, of course, we all know what Boeing is. Projected that in the next 20 years, there will be around more than 500,000 pilots needed. In Southeast Asia, it's 193,000 pilots. In South Asia, where India is, they'll be needing more than 100,000 pilots. I think in India right now, they're starting to experience the shortage of pilots, especially with the demand in India. And the next region that's forecasted to experience the demand is in the Middle East. They are forecasting that middle of the year, the Middle East will be needing more pilots.
Looking at the international scenario, this is the right time to pursue the career of a pilot. And if you are really looking out for becoming a pilot, you have to choose the right academy. And First Aviation Academy can be a great choice for you. So if you have a dream to become a pilot and you are looking out for a great academy, please feel free to call us on the numbers given below in the description and here on the screen. As we are the exclusive training partners for First Aviation Academy for the entire Southeast Asia. So if you like this video, do subscribe the channel, press bell icon and also like and share the video with your friends, colleagues and whoever is aspiring to become a pilot. And if you want to take a tour of the Aviation Academy, I'm putting a link here. You can just check out this video and find everything about First Aviation Academy. So see you soon with a new video and updated information on the aviation career. Till then, goodbye and thank you.